Our December 6, 2022 council meeting to order.
Oh, yes, sir. Just on the council of the city of Memphis, hereby call to order for the transaction business put to adjourn. All rise, please.
I would like to recognize our chaplain of the day, Pastor Elliott Shelton of Promised Land Church, invited by Councilwoman Easter Thomas. The prayer will immediately be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Pastor Shelton, please lead us in prayer.
Let us pray. Father, we thank you for this opportunity of being in our city, our beloved city of Memphis. We pray, Lord, that you would watch over the borders and boundaries of our city. We pray for the glory and the majesty of you to watch over each and every citizen. We pray, Lord, for favor and increase and prosperity. Lord, we pray for the laws of the land to be just for everyone. Lord, we ask in the name of Jesus that your glory will shine in this city and allow it to be an exemplary of the hand of God being present. It's in the name of Jesus that we thank you for each one of these leaders that serve our city. We thank you for the city council. Thank you for the mayor. And Lord, we pray for all of the staff and all the auxiliaries that work with them, the operating systems. Lord, we pray that you touch them, bless them, provide for them, keep them, touch their families. In the name of Jesus Christ, we do pray and we love you. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Councilwoman Easter Thomas, you are recognized.
Is this it? Yes. Okay. No. Thank you. Pastor Shelton, if you could come back up and join us, please. Thank you so much for being here. Colleagues and City of Memphis, just honored to have my pastor, Pastor Elliott Shelton, be named as Chaplain of the Day of the Memphis City Council. If you have not been or visited to Promised Land Church on Overton Crossing, please make your way down. Just the work and the ethic and the heart that Pastor Shelton has for Fraser and the broader Memphis community led me to join his church, but not only just to bring him down and to share his spirit with you all. So I'm just honored to have you kick off our day, our meeting, and be honored with Chaplain of the Day. So thank you, Pastor, for joining us.
Thank you. How are you today? Madam Comptroller, will you please call the roll?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Councilmember Canali, Carlisle, Colvette, Easter Thomas, Ford, Johnson, Logan, Morgan, Robinson, Vice Chairman Smiley, Swearingen Washington, Warren, Chairman Jones.
Present.
Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Before we read the formal introduction for today, I want to take this opportunity to welcome our newest council member, who was sworn in just a couple of weeks ago, but this is our first official meeting. So, welcome, Mrs. Janice Swearingen Washington. Welcome to the December 6, 2022 regular meeting of the Memphis City Council. Comment cards are available for members of the public wishing to be heard on a specific item. Our Sergeant at Arms has agendas available up front. Please be mindful that all cards must be completed in their entirety, including the item number you wish to speak on. Cards that do not include an item number or are left blank will be held until the end of the meeting for the council comment section, for the general comment section. All those wishing to speak on an item must turn in their comment cards to the Sergeant at Arms before that item is called. As chair, I will only recognize citizens that properly register to speak by submitting a completed comment card to the Sergeant at Arms. Madam Comptroller, will you please call item number 1?
Did we approve the minutes? Mr. Chairman, may we please approve the previous meeting minutes?
I'm sorry, I skipped over that. I believe that Vice Chairman Smiley has reviewed the minutes for from our last meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Minutes from the November 15th meeting.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Madam Comptroller, will you please prepare the screen for the vote?
Canali, yes. Carlisle, yes. Colbeck, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Logan, yes. Robinson, yes. Vice Chairman Smiley, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Jones, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, will you please call item number 1?
Item number 1 is a presentation of the 2022 Memphis City Beautiful Slam Dunk Litter League winners. This is requested by Councilwoman Logan.
Councilwoman Logan?
Afternoon, everyone. With so much going on in our community by way of blight and illegal dumping and things of that sort, Memphis City Beautiful has always been a place that we could go to make certain that there are people that are actively serving on our behalf as it relates to keeping the community clean, keeping the community informed and engaged in outreach opportunities. And so I'm just grateful for their latest initiative, the Slam Dunk Litter League, which involves residents, which involves a community, which involves Memphians actually putting their hands to this assignment. And I wanted to just highlight those citizens that not only participated, but went above and beyond in this launching of this initiative called the Memphis City Beautiful Slam Dunk Litter League. And I'd like for Director Eldra White to stand with her staff. And we want to just recognize the citizens. We don't want it to be that they've done all of this work and don't realize how much we appreciate hands-on getting out there, taking the time to make your community, your city beautiful and continuing that work. And I want to first thank you all for the hard work that you've done and for the dedication. I've worked with each of you even before council, and you all have been dedicated to making certain that we continue the legacy that was initiated a long time ago for Memphis to be the most beautiful city and helping us to get back there. And so it takes the initiatives like you're doing and the work that you do to enable us to get back to that point. So with this being said, I wanted to recognize the winners of these first, I guess, annual or first Slam Dunk Litter League. I'll start with the third place. We had third place winners, and as I call your name, if you would stand, we have a certificate for you to just let you know how much we appreciate you. The third, and council members, if these citizens or residents or people in your district, please show them some love. Third place goes to Orange Mound Blight Patrol, that Warren Swift. Team captain was Warren Swift. If you would raise your hand, Warren Swift, Paula Campbell, Latrina Macon Norman, Jacqueline Holland, Jakayla Cook, Tamaya Wooten, Jericho Wooten, Esther Wooten, and Kayla Smith. We have certificates for all of you, and we thank you so much for the hard work and for the effort and for what you did. You all, your final score was 984. You had 436 bags collected, 147 tires collected, 25 cleanups, and 183 volunteer hours. So once again, thank you so much for taking pride in Orange Mound. It's great to have our young people seeing how important it is to have civic engagement, civic involvement, and to be civically responsible and taking pride in your community and doing it for us by us. So, second place goes to the Style Stuffers. Style Stuffers. Stand, please. That's Team Captain Luvina Walker and Tara Proctor. Thank you all so much for that. And you all collected. We definitely want to make certain that everyone knows that you don't have to have a huge group. You can just start where you are. They came in second place. Their final score was 1,106. There were 480 bags of garbage collected, or trash or debris or litter. 74 tires collected. 74 tires collected by these two women here, so we appreciate that. 37 cleanup and 77 volunteer hours. Thank you for volunteering your time. We really appreciate what you've done. Let's give them another hand, you all. And drum roll, our first place winners was I'm gonna have to say it like this, KSCCDC. So Klondike Smoky City. Okay, Klondike Smoky City CDC. Woo, woo, woo! Give them a hand, you guys. Come on down. Their final score was 1,500. They had 704 bags of litter collected, 337 tires collected, 11 cleanups, and 469 volunteer hours. We so appreciate the work that you've done. That was Reicher. Okay, Dr. Reicher's team, Captain Risher. Okay, thank you, ma'am. Ronnie McNeil, Timothy Eccles, Garrett, and Reginald Randolph, Joshua Barnes, Akiva Ajanica, Dominic Morris, and Quincy Morris. Thank you so much for your work. We appreciate you all. And that's it for that, President. Thank you again, once again, Memphis City Beautiful. We appreciate you.
Councilwoman Logan, and you move it?
And I so move.
Okay, and seconded by? Okay, by Issa Thomas. And so we will approve that by acclamation. Madam Comptroller, before we do that, for those that may have joined us just a second ago, comment cards are available for members of the public wishing to be heard on a specific item. Our Sergeant at Arms has agendas available up front. Please be mindful that all cards must be completed in their entirety, including the item number you wish to speak on. Cards that do not include an item number or are left blank will be held until the end of the meeting for the general comment section. All those wishing to speak on an item must turn in their comment cards to the Sergeant at Arms before that item is called. As chair, I will only recognize citizens that properly register to speak by submitting a completed comment card to the Sergeant at Arms. Madam Comptroller, will you please call item number 3? I'm sorry, item number 2.
Item number 2 is a resolution approving an honorary street name change of North Watkins Street between St. Elmo Avenue and Burnham Avenue for Pastor Ricky Floyd, District 7, Super District 8. This resolution is sponsored by Council Members Logan and Canale, and there's a request for same night minutes.
Councilwoman Logan, and Canale, you're recognized.
Thank you so much, Chair. It's with great honor that we honor such a exemplary citizen. Not only is he a friend, he is a pastor. Not only is he one who is doing great things in our community, he's one that has compassion for all of the city of Memphis, not just the Fraser Raleigh area, where he's doing some phenomenal things. And so we wanted to make certain that that is honored in our community and in the city. So I'd like to read we'd like to read the resolution into your hearing. Whereas when worthy circumstances arise, the Memphis City Council has seen fit to name certain public roads to honor citizens who have served the city of Memphis. And Pastor Ricky Floyd is undoubtedly such an individual. And whereas a Mississippi native, the senior lead pastor of Pursuit of God Transformation Center, Pastor Ricky Floyd shares the gospel through leadership training, marriage seminars, praise and worship conferences all throughout the United States and abroad to bring healing and instruction to marriages and to train current and future leaders. And whereas Pastor Ricky Floyd is a tireless and gifted community advocate and healer whose mission is to transform lives, he is the founder of Salvation Revelation Ministries, Inc., a 501c3 outreach ministry which brings positive impacts to families and individuals throughout the Mid-South region. And whereas Pastor Ricky Floyd is the president of the Husband Institute, Inc., a boys to men mentoring program that educates youth and prepares them for successful professional and personal lives. Pastor Ricky Floyd is also the founder of the School of Marriage Enrichment, a Ricky and Sheila Floyd Ministries, Inc. program. And whereas
a dedicated public servant and youth advocate, Pastor Ricky Floyd is the curriculum coordinator and an instructor for Manhood University, a City of Memphis youth program that helps build character, improve communication, and strengthen leadership skills for men. Pastor Ricky Floyd has also previously served as the interim president of the City of Memphis Citizens Law Enforcement Review Board. And whereas in 2020, Pastor Ricky Floyd was the recipient of the 2020 FBI Director's Community Leadership Award, which honors individuals and organizations for their extraordinary contributions to preventing crime and violence in the community, given to himself and his wife, Pastor Sheila Floyd, for their dedication to positively impacting people's lives and their commitment to supporting and working with numerous local charities and organizations, including Families Matter, Agape Child and Family Services, Memphis City Pastors Network, Methodist Congressional Health Network, and many more. And whereas Pastor Ricky Floyd is a pillar of our community, a pastor, husband, father, grandfather, mentor, friend, nonviolence advocate, youth advocate, and an outstanding example of the importance of being involved with and giving back to your community and to let your talents help others reach their full potential.
now therefore be it resolved by the Memphis City Council that North Watkins Street between St. Elmo Avenue and Corning Avenue be declared Pastor Ricky Floyd Street in honor of his remarkable life and numerous accomplishments on behalf of the city of Memphis. Be it further resolved that the city engineers requested to affix suitable signs designating this public road given by my hand under the great seal of the city of Memphis this 6th day of December. Rhonda Logan, Memphis City Council, District 1, and J. Ford Canale, Memphis City Council, District 9, and Chairman Jones, Memphis City Council Chairman. And I so move.
I simply want to say thank you. So many people on this city council I have fought with, fought for, and some I fought against, but now we fought together. And I want to applaud you all for the sacrifice, the service that you're doing for this city, and acknowledging the sacrifice that I'm standing here because I got a family. My wife, my children, my mother-in-law, 4 generations, if y'all will all stand. The reason that this street is named after me is because I have 4 generations. Stand up, Pop. I have 4 generations of support that have allowed me to be the most visible person, but the value I have is because of family, God, and teams like these people that I partner with in the community to work together. And I thank you all so much for acknowledging this. And my mother, single mother, 15 years old, Tunica, Mississippi, Sugar Ditch, that my grandmother said if I lived to be 10 years old, she would kiss my mother's behind. And so this is more for my mother to see why she's still alive. Her son not only lived past 10, but there's history being made by the son that she did not abort. So thank y'all so much for this, for my mother and my grandchildren. Thank you so much.
Mr. Chairman, I'll show that approved by acclamation.
Yes, thank you, Madam Comptroller. Madam Comptroller, will you please call item number 36?
Item number 36 is a resolution honoring Tawan Stout Mitchell for her years of service to the city of Memphis. This resolution is sponsored by Council Members Canali, Colvette, Easter Thomas, Ford, Jones, Johnson, Logan, Robinson, Smiley, Swearingen, Washington, and Warren. There is a request for same-night minutes.
Thank you. Before I call on you, Mr. Smiley, we have a comment card from Mr. Harold Collins. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for acknowledging me. Before I provide any additional remarks about the Honorable Tawan Stout Mitchell, I asked the former council member, Harold Collins, to come over here and say a few words about his former colleague, the Honorable Tawan Stout Mitchell. Mr. Collins.
Thank you, Councilman Smiley. To Mr. Chairman Jones and the rest of the members of the Memphis City Council, it's an honor to stand before you and share with you briefly the deep sentiments of the people of Whitehaven about our former school board member, our former city council member, and our former leader in the city of Memphis's divisions. She is not only a pillar in Whitehaven and stands strong, but she stands because she has integrity. She says what she means, and she means what she says. And I can attest to that as a mentor of hers. I can also share with you that she is a fine family woman. Husband, her children, and her grandchildren speak well of her, and we all do. I am honored to stand before her and beside her just to say that thank you for your support of me and your support of all of our efforts, and to say that we love you because we really do. And as you would always say, it's best to give people their flowers while they can smell them. And so today, I honor you, the Memphis City Council, to say we want to give you the biggest bouquet you deserve, and I'm sure they will be pink. So, congratulations.
With some green on it.
So I sent a message to former Council Chair Janet Hooks. She wanted to be here today, but she sent me some comments, and you see this beautiful woman here. You would be surprised to know that she's turned 70 in a couple of days. So the Honorable Janet Hooks said this: I'm happy to celebrate the 70th birthday of my friend, Tawan. While working with her on the Memphis City Council, I came to know her bright mind, incomparable graciousness, and kindness to all. I recall that Tawan had tremendous commitment to do the right thing, no matter what. And though we might a few times disagree, we'd always wish the other well. So today, my friend, I'd like to wish you many, many more as we celebrate your service to the city and your 70th birthday. Councilman Ford.
You know I love you. You will forever be my colleague. You're turning 70. But I want you to know one thing, your work is not done yet. You have much, much more to do, and we appreciate everything that you've done. serving with her on the council 20-some years ago. We had it going on, didn't we? Yeah, we had it going on, and like you said, we still do. But I just want to say I love you. Happy birthday. You're getting younger by the day. All right.
Council members, audience, and Tawan Stout Mitchell. The only reason that I'm standing here today and have been in public office for 20 years is because of Tawan Stout Mitchell. She doesn't know this, but when people ask me, how did you get started? I remember her coming to the Valleywood Homeowners Association meeting. She was, at that time, still on the school board. She told us about the kind of individual that she liked to see serve in her seat because she was running for the Memphis City Council, and she knew that she would have the victory. I took those words to heart. I was encouraged by my colleagues at MLGW, and here I am today because of Tawan Stout Mitchell. God bless you, happy birthday, and we were glad to honor you today.
I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do in a second. So I moved back to Memphis in, I think, 2017, and I called my mentor, Carl Johnson Sr., who used to be the president of the Memphis City School Board, and I was like, I want to get involved in community work. He gave me a list of names, and one of the first names he mentioned was Tawan Stout Mitchell. So thank you for, pouring into a young person like me, believing in the next generation of leaders. We appreciate you. We humbly wrap our arms around you and continue to lift us up. And we told her she wasn't done working. So I think about 2 years ago, this body saw deemed fit to implement what's called the Memphis Academy of Civic Engagement. And we talk about getting people involved in government so they can have a general understanding of what the Memphis City government does. And there was no better person, no more qualified person than the Honorable Tawan Stout Mitchell. And when I called her, I was kind of nervous. And I don't really get too nervous. But when you call someone like Tawan, you get a little nervous. Your hands start sweating. I felt like I was in law school all over again. And I said, well, I got some work for you. She's like, whatever it is, I'm in. And she graciously accepted to currently serve as the dean of the Memphis Academy of Civic Engagement. So now I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. Whereas on occasion, the Memphis City Council sees fit to honor those who have served and enriched their community. And Tawan Stout Mitchell is certainly worthy of celebration for her service to the city of Memphis and extraordinary community impact. Whereas Tawan Stout Mitchell was born to Rosetta and Roy Scott on December 9, 1952. After her father's death, her mother married her stepfather, Ernest Beasley. She grew up in Memphis and received a bachelor's degree in sociology and education from Lane College, a master's in education in administration from Trevecca University, and completed postgraduate work as social work administration at the University of Tennessee. Whereas a trained social worker, Tawan worked throughout her career with agencies such as the State Protective Services, St. Peter's Home for Children, Big Brothers Big Sisters, where upon her resignation as executive director, the Tawan Stout Mitchell Employee Service Award was named to her, honor her legacy. Ms. Mitchell retired from the American Cancer Society, where she served as the executive director for the Memphis region, which included West Tennessee, Mississippi, and Arkansas. She helped the 6-state Mid-South Division to establish a diversity and inclusion policy. And whereas Tawan Stout Mitchell served on the Memphis City School Board for 8 years prior to serving 8 years on this body, the Memphis City Council, and was elected as chair of both bodies by her colleagues. She served in the administration of 4 City of Memphis mayors prior to her retirement. During her tenure as the District 3 City Council representative, she was instrumental in the development of the Whitehaven Library, the Whitehaven Visitor Information Center, the Links at Whitehaven Golf Course, the Benjamin Hook Central Library, and the vote to bring Memphis Grizzlies to the city. She's been busy, y'all. Among many other notable actions to enhance the lives of the citizens of Memphis, she counts among her sheroes her mother, Rosetta Scott Beasley, her grandmother, Nella Mae Nelson, Mary McLeod Bethune, Maxine Smith, Joyce Blackman, and Minerva Jonica. Ooh, bringing us back. And whereas Miss Mitchell loves Jesus Christ and has been an active member of Christ Missionary Baptist Church for many years and has served in several positions over the years, such as sanctuary choir member, Sunday school teachers, pastors, government relations advisor, Souls to the Pole strategist. She has remained engaged in civic activities, including being a board member for the Women's Foundation of Greater Memphis, a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. She has received numerous awards for her community involvement and leadership. In her retirement, she has been a contributing writer for the Spirit magazine, panelist, political commentator, public policy consultant, owner of One Stop Mitchell Consulting, author, and currently serves as the dean of the Memphis Academy of Civic Engagement and the City Council's program that educates citizens on local government and opportunities for public service. Whereas Ms. Mitchell is married to retired Memphis Fire Department Chief Ronald Mitchell Sr., and they have 4 children, Nakia, Catherine, Evelyn, and Ronald Jr. She has 7 grandchildren, 1 great-grandchild, a sister, Sybil Scott Noble, and is also the devoted caretaker of her mother, Rosetta Scott Beasley. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Memphis City Council recognize the Honorable Tawan Stout Mitchell for her decades of service to the city of Memphis and does bestow upon Tawan Stout Mitchell the honorary title of Chair Emeritus of the Memphis City Council and Dean of Historical Records. Be it further resolved that in recognition of her 70th birthday, that the Memphis City Council does hereby designate December 9th, 2022 as Tawan Stout Mitchell Day in the city of Memphis, given under by this entire council. Don't cry. I don't do tears. Don't cry. I told her don't cry because I really don't do tears, y'all.
May the work I've done speak to God's purpose for me. 70 years, the most humbling experience I've ever had and you will ever have is to be elected by your neighbors and peers and friends to represent and speak for them. It's an humbling experience. Do not take it lightly. I live with that charge every day, a charge to keep I have, a God to glorify. I want to thank my colleagues, my friends, all of you, and the citizens for this wonderful opportunity to serve. And 70 years, I'm blessed. I know it. I've had a lot of loss in 70 years, but God has kept me for a purpose. And I thank each of you for being a part of my path. God bless you, and thank you.
Thank you. And if we can get a second on that, second by Councilman Warren, and Madam Comptroller, if you would show that this item has been approved by acclamation.
So noted, Mr. Chairman.
Madam Comptroller, will you please call item number 3?
Item number 3 is a resolution approving an honorary street name change for South Parkway East from South Willette Street to Kyle Street for Jarvis R. Greer, District 4, Super District 8. This resolution is sponsored by Councilman Colbert, and there's a request for same night minutes.
Councilman Colbert.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Whereas upon occasion, the City Council approves the naming of specified public roads to honor citizens in the community for their extraordinary service. And Jarvis R. Greer is a wonderful example of a community leader who is deserving of this city's recognition. And whereas on December 30th, 2022, Jarvis Greer will retire as the sports director at WMC TV Action News 5 in Memphis after more than 43 and a half years of coming to our homes at night, most every night on television. Whereas Mr. Greer grew up in the Glenview neighborhood on South Parkway East, just a few miles from the WMC offices, he attended Christian Brothers High School, where he was a star running back for the Purple Wave, graduating in 1975 and earning a scholarship to Memphis State University. Mr. Greer was defensive back for the Tigers. And whereas Jarvis Greer graduated from Memphis State on April 28, 1979, with a degree in communications and fine arts, 2 days later, on April 30th, 1979, he began his career in television at WMC, taking on multiple roles behind the scenes: desk assistant, runner, grip, cameraman, before he stepped in front of the camera as a sports reporter.
Whereas in 1984, under the tutelage of WMC Sports Director Jack Estrid, Mr. Greer was named weekend sports anchor. Following Mr. Eaton's retirement in 1991, Jarvis Greer was named sports director at WMC. In his time at the station, he was garnered as an Emmy Award and won Memphis Magazine's Best of Memphis Award 3 times. The 111th Tennessee General Assembly honored him with a resolution upon his 40th anniversary at WMC. And whereas Jarvis Greer is also a radio analyst, color, and he's also a color commentator for Memphis Tigers football. In addition to all these accomplishments, he is a cancer survivor, husband to Emily, father of JJ and Mackenzie, and a grandfather of 5.
Now, therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of Memphis, Tennessee, that congratulations are extended to Jarvis Greer, his family and friends on this day of celebration, and recognition that South Parkway East, between South Willette Street and Kyle Street, shall be designated and always remembered as Jarvis R. Greer Street. Be it further resolved that the city engineer is requested to affix suitable signs designated such public road. Given by my hand this day under the Great Seal of Memphis, 6th day of December, 2022, Frank Colvett, District 2, and Martavius Jones, Chairman. Congratulations.
Not surprising, the reporter wishes to talk to us this time.
Well, I guess I have to say I know where my ashes will be spread once I check out. But I want to thank this great body, the Memphis City Council. I want to say I am a Memphian. I'm a Memphian born and bred, and when I die, I will be a Memphian dead. And this is just one thing that, I never got into this field for, the adulation or any of that. I got enough of that when I was running around playing football for the Tigers. But I do want to say that, I'm joined here. My wife is here. My daughter's sitting up here with the camera. My daughter-in-law is over. Stand up. My daughter-in-law is over there. Stand up, Stephanie. And my son-in-law, Karen. Let's see. My son, JJ, he works for Kevin Kane with Memphis Tourism. He couldn't be here because he's out of town on business. But one of my greatest accomplishments is the fact that I married my beautiful wife, who just retired from 30 years at Alsac St. Jude, where she was Chief Administrative Officer. So that's the brains of the operation right there. She allowed me to play TV for all these years, and I'm so thankful to you, Emily. Thank you, Emily. Thank you so much. Emily, did I say that? Was that 40? No. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Of course, she got her master's from the University of Memphis. She went to CBU undergrad. My daughter graduated from Memphis. My son graduated from Memphis, where he played soccer. My daughter-in-law played volleyball at Memphis, and the only mixed marriage here, my son-in-law went to Ole Miss, but we won't say too much about that. But he's a good man, so it's all great. And I'm just, I can only say, I don't know what to say. I'm speechless behind all of that. I was never expecting this. My wife kept it a really good secret, and I am just so honored, and that's all I can say. Thank you all very much. I really appreciate it.
A little bit of housekeeping, Mr. Chairman. I so move.
Thank you. Is there a second? Second. Okay. Mr. Greer, I think any of us who grew up in Memphis, especially my age and younger, you have been, just a hallmark in this community. Doc Holliday is a good friend of mine, but he has some gigantic shoes to fill. The enthusiasm that you brought to the job, your knowledge that you brought to it, and just your overall love for sports. But it was also evident your love for this city. It's hard to replace you, and it's very fitting that we do this. I own a house on South Parkway, and so I'll pass it from time, depending upon the direction that I'm going. But it's going to be it's going to be a pleasure to pass the street that's named in your honor for all the contributions that you've made to our city. So congratulations, my friend. Any other council members want to make a comment? But so with that, it has been moved and seconded. If there is, Madam Comptroller is not here, but she will move this by acclamation. But it's an honor to name this after you, my friend.
Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Take care. I'll play feedback.
Madam Comptroller, will you please call item number 4?
Item number 4 is a resolution requesting an honorary street name change for Stovall Avenue from Boxwood Street to Hyde Park Boulevard for Pastor C.L. Mathis, District 7, Super District 8. This resolution is sponsored by Councilwoman Easter Thomas. It was held from November 15th, and there's a request for same night minutes.
Thank you, Chair. Whereas on occasion, the Memphis City Council has seen fit to name certain public roads, as we've seen today, honor citizens who've served this community. And Pastor Curtis L. Mathis is one such citizen whose contributions to the city of Memphis are certainly worthy of recognition. Being a proud graduate of Westwood High School, class of 1978, Pastor C.L. Mathis is a devoted husband to Mrs. Rosemary Mathis, and loving father to 3 children, 9 grandchildren, 7 great-grandchildren, and 1 grand dog. A native of Memphis, Tennessee, Pastor C.L. Mathis, for over 30 years, has dedicated his life to ministering and uplifting the congregation of New Bethel Missionary Baptist Church in the Hyde Park community located in North Memphis. And under the leadership of Pastor Mathis, New Bethel has continued to serve and meet the needs of the community of Hyde Park and the surrounding neighborhoods through offering a multitude of outreach ministries for years, including organizing widespread community events that involve youth, domestic violence survivors, and those who are incarcerated. And being a man with a vision and a spirited leader, Pastor Mathis was anointed to reach people in need as a master teacher, one who is truly a man after God's own heart and exudes excellence in his callings to members of the New Bethel Missionary Baptist Church with a dedicated commitment to the Hyde Park community. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we honor you, Pastor C.L. Mathis, for your continued service as a testament to your works. Stovall Avenue from Boxwood Street to Hyde Park Boulevard in the city of Memphis, District 7, be declared and designated Pastor C.L. Mathis Avenue. But the city engineer requested to affix the suitable signs so that we can have a tangible reminder of the work that you've done in and around our community in North Memphis. Thank you, Pastor Mathis, for the work that you do. Can you all join me in thanking Pastor Mathis for today? Don't say it. We got them speechless, y'all.
Good evening to the council and
good evening
to each of you. I'm just thankful. This is a great surprise. My wife and family is here, and they kept it a good secret. My bosses are here. They kept it a great secret. They told me I was coming down here for a 3:30 meeting, and I guess this is a great meeting to have. So thank y'all very much.
And Councilwoman Easter Thompson, you so move? I so move. Thank you. Okay, has been moved and seconded. Madam Comptroller, can you please show that this item was moved by acclamation?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Madam Comptroller, will you please call item number 5?
Item number 5 is a resolution honoring Doug McGowan for his extraordinary service and contributions to the city of Memphis. This resolution is sponsored by council members Warren, Canali, Carlisle, Colvette, Easter Thomas, Ford, Johnson, Logan, Morgan, Robinson, Smiley, and Swearingen, Washington.
Councilman Warren.
Call the question.
Okay, has been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?
It's your one favor.
Okay.
That we ever see.
That item passes. Okay. Madam Comptroller, will you please let the record reflect that Councilwoman Johnson is a yes vote on that as well?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Councilman Carlisle. Sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to take the opportunity to recognize these young gentlemen out here from Troop 55 and the Boy Scouts attending today's meeting. Learn a little civic pride.
Thank you, Councilman Carlisle. Madam Comptroller, will you please call item number 6?
Item number 6 is a resolution pursuant to Chapter 9.6 of the Memphis and Shelby County Unified Development Code, approving a special use permit at the subject property located at 999 Channel Avenue on President's Island, parcel ID number 05010700014. This resolution is sponsored by the Division of Planning and Development. It was held from November 15th. Our case number is SUP 22-26.
Councilwoman Johnson, you're recognized. Microphone, please.
It's on there. Hello? Okay.
There you go.
Committee met and on this particular item, and it received favorable recommendation, and I so move.
Okay. This item has been moved and seconded. Does any council member want to hear a presentation on this item? Okay. Seeing none, this item was approved in committee with a favorable recommendation. With no council member wanting to see a presentation, Madam Comptroller, will you please prepare the screen for the vote?
Canali, yes. Carlisle, yes. Easter Thomas, yes.
Who didn't vote?
Johnson, yes. Logan, yes. Robinson, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Smiley, Vice Chairman, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Jones, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, will you please call item number 7?
Item number 7 is an ordinance amending ordinance number 5367 of the Code of Ordinances, City of Memphis, Tennessee, adopted on August 10th, 2010, as amended, known as the Memphis and Shelby County Unified Development Code, to authorize a zoning use district reclassification for land located on the east side of North Bingham, south of Jackson Avenue, by taking the land out of the employment use district and including it in the residential urban use district, up for third and final reading. This ordinance is sponsored by the Division of Planning and Development. Our case number is Z2206, ordinance number 5840.
Thank you. Councilwoman Johnson.
Thank you, Chair. The committee met, and this item received a favorable recommendation, and I so move.
Okay. Colleagues, we do have 2 comment cards on this. We have comment cards from Michelle Alexander and Lucille Alexander. So each one of you will be given 2 minutes to speak. We would ask that you state your name and address for the record, and the timer will begin then.
Hi, I don't have 2 minutes. My name is Lucia Alexander, and I am the Neighborhood Watch president of where he want to build the apartments at. And I have talked with him, and he did say that he would donate some land for us, for the community. And on that land, I want to build a park for the children. Because in my neighborhood, our children don't have nowhere to go. Leicester Community Center is closer in Hollywood. And the children in my neighborhood, that's too far for them to go. So I was wanting to build a park there for my children. Thank you for your ears.
Thank you. Ms. Michelle Alexander.
Hello, yes, Michelle Alexander. I'm the daughter of Lucille Alexander. And I just wanted to say that the park that this gentleman is allowing us to access is very important, especially to the community. A lot of people don't know, but my father was Michael Alexander, and he was killed right down the street where we want to build the park. And my dad was very into the neighborhood. He believed in the neighborhood, and he believed that the neighborhood could also develop children into being great persons. So I just wanted to say that I hope that they give us the opportunity to show that we can build a park and something positive for our neighborhood. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Ms. Alexander. Is there any council members seeking a presentation on this? Councilman Carlisle.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So since we've gone from committee to here, I've like gone back and forth because the downzoning is appropriate. Like going from EMP down to R3 is a good thing. But I'm concerned because we didn't have anybody from Blight Authority, even though the transaction's complete. I'd like to understand how they're transacting property, right? So we create this entity. It's to get control of and clean title and then get property out to development, which is somewhat what's happening here. My problem, though, is I don't know what the, if any, conditions were put on the property, the developer, to ensure that, in 5 or 10 years or whatever, that the property doesn't end up right back where it started, right? There are ways to deal with that. And so to staff, if we've got time on the 20th, and if not on the 20th, probably the first meeting of the year, BAM needs to come in and talk about their process for disposing of assets. And then I want to specifically talk about how they did this transaction. But here's what I'd like to do. Even though we don't have a direct say, so to speak, over the release of the secondary piece that is going to be a green space or / park, I'd like to understand, I'd like to hold this for 2 weeks, which is fine because I can ratify it with same night minutes in 2 weeks, so it doesn't slow you down necessarily. You and I and Councilman Colvett or the neighbors, I'd like to see a more formal plan. Here's what I don't love. The promise to give a piece of property with no plan for an entity, no plan to fund the park. I mean, there's just, it's kind of like the Wild West of like, we'll figure it out down the road, which in my experience in real estate is a very, very shaky ground. Sometimes it works out really, really well. 9 times out of 10, though, it ends up being a hot mess. So what I would like to see from you and from the neighborhood stakeholders is how you're going to contribute it. So Are they going to form a 501c3? Is somebody going to take fee simple? Are you going to hold on to it? The city's not going to take receipt of the property. And then, more to the point, their expectation is to build, quote, a park. I mean, that's going to require site work and clearing and raising money and all these things, which they don't have to do tomorrow, but no one seemingly has a plan for it, and it seems to be a piece of the inducement for their support. And so I'd like to understand what that looks like. So with that, I'm going to move to hold this till December 20th so that we can understand how that piece is going to work better. And then also in the meantime, I'd like to talk to BAM and see if, as a part of their sales agreement or their deed transfer, there is any conditions set on the properties that could help protect the neighborhood down the road.
Well, we have, I was going to recognize Councilwoman Johnson, and we'll come back to that.
Okay.
Councilwoman Johnson?
Thank you. Would the neighbors come back up to the podium, please? May they, Chair?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. How y'all doing? Alexander's, if I heard correctly. My question is, are you opposed to these apartments being built?
No.
If you were not given the land, would you be opposed to the apartments being built?
No, because it needs to be built up. It's vacant over there, and it needs to be built up. And long as he's not gonna be no slumlord, we don't mind.
All right, there will be new construction, to my understanding, so that shouldn't be a problem. Do you understand that if he gives the land, that it would be your responsibility in order to find out the correct way to obtain title to the property and how to maintain it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Those are all my questions. I thank you.
Thank you.
It seems as though that the neighbors do not have a problem with the construction, regardless of the fact that the park or the land is used in that manner. Being established, I can't see why we shouldn't just go ahead and vote on this particular issue.
May I respond? Thank you, Mr. Chair. I don't see the reason or any harm that's done, and harm is, I'm going to use that in the legal sense. There's no harm to the applicant by holding for 2 weeks. We don't ratify the minutes for another 2 weeks, so we can vote on it, and I'll be on the prevailing side, and I can pull it off, or we can just go ahead and you can support me because it's in Super 9 and District 5. And hold it for 2 weeks and allow me to make sure that a plan's put in place that makes this successful. Because my biggest fear is this is one of the singular largest transfers of real estate that I've seen from Blight Authority that's come before this body. And if these things aren't successful, the next time we do it, the neighborhood is going to have a larger issue with how it went down. And so, again, I don't think there should be any objection to holding this for 2 weeks and having a vote with same night minutes to ensure that we accomplish
Okay,
like to accomplish.
Let me recognize Vice Chair Smiley, and then we recognize you again, Councilwoman Johnson.
So actually, absolutely, both of you, but my concern going forward with it today is there's a promise to convey land, but we want to set the neighborhood up for success. The only way you can set the neighborhood up for success is making sure there is a plan so that this park that we're talking about, figuratively, can actually come to fruition. We asked the neighbors some questions about the potential park, but, do they have a 501c3? Do they have any entity that can make this park come to fruition? Those are the questions that really need to be asked here. And if they do not, Councilman Carlisle and members of this body, we may be able to assist them. If we can't assist them, we can say, hey, find someone that can help you throughout this process. To vote on it today, it doesn't hurt us because it still comes back in 2 weeks because we're getting our action for same 9 minutes. But I think, the best thing that this body can do is wait 2 weeks and do what we can to put them in a better position right now. I don't think we don't know. We don't have enough information to say, okay, this is more than just a promise to convey. And, without anything in writing, it's just talk.
Councilwoman Johnson.
I do not think at this point that the neighbors are making this park a necessity agreement in order for this gentleman to go forward with his arrangement. I serve on the band board, and it is no requirements, and maybe that's something we may need to include on some of the band properties. But that sale did take place without limitations to my knowledge. But I don't have a problem with waiting. I mean, if everybody would feel better, comfortable, because if I asked you to wait, I would want you to respect that as well. But I'm just saying, I don't think the park should be a consideration here since we've established, if we need to go ahead and build these apartments that needs to be out there, and it's going to take time. He won't do it overnight. It's going to take a little time, but that's the process. But I'm willing to wait, if that's what it is, for 2 weeks and make it same night minutes.
Okay.
Thank you for your insight.
Objection for our placing a hold on this for 2 weeks, and we will take up this item with same night minutes at our December 20th meeting.
No objection. And Chair, if I may, I just want to say thank you to the gentlelady from District 8. And I would just, to add to that is my only ability to ensure that I can insert myself in this is to hold the vote until I'm satisfied that they've got a good plan going forward, whether it's an inducement or not.
Okay.
So that's my thought process. Thank you for your support.
Yeah, thank you for the insight.
Okay, so item number 7 will be held until our December 20th meeting. Madam Comptroller, will you please call item number 36? I'm sorry, 35.
Item number 35 is an appointment for the Director of Solid Waste, Philip J. Davis. There is a request for same night minutes.
Councilwoman Easter Thomas? Well, where's she?
Yeah, I thought cleaning the dumpster somewhere.
Well, you go hold it? What? Hold it? There he is. We almost held it.
Councilman Warren, since Councilwoman Easter Thomas stepped away, will you step in as the chair of this committee, as vice chair of this committee?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The committee met, and I believe it was a unanimous recommendation of approval, and I so move.
Okay, has been moved and seconded. Mr. Davis, we heard from you. Unless you want to make any additional statements, I don't see any comments from my colleagues here.
No, sir, not necessary. I just want to thank you guys so much for the opportunity. Looking forward to working with each one of you.
Thank you. Madam Comptroller, will you please prepare the screen for the vote on this item?
Canali, yes. minutes. Item number 32 is a resolution to amend the council FY23 grant allocations, all council districts. This resolution is sponsored by Councilman Carlisle, and there's a request for same night minutes. Item number 33, resolution to amend the council FY23 grant allocations, all council districts. This resolution is sponsored by Councilman Ford. There's a request for same night minutes. Item number 34 is, no, that concludes.
Yes.
Our fiscal consent agenda items, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. That item has been moved and seconded. Seeing no members in the queue to speak on this item, Madam Comptroller, will you please prepare the screens for the vote?
For the record, it was moved by Carlisle and seconded by Warren.
Yes.
Thank you. Canali, yes. Carlisle, yes. Colvette, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Logan, yes. Robinson, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Jones, yes.
Thank you. That item passes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Madam Comptroller, will you please call our MLG&W fiscal consent agenda?
My pleasure. Item number 18 is a resolution approving change number 1 to contract number 12247, gas transmission row mowing and tree trimming to ABC Professional Tree Services Incorporated in the funded amount of $753,308. Item number 19 is a resolution awarding contract number 12366, large directional drilling to Memphis Road Boring Company Incorporated in the funded amount of $2,487,600. Item number 20 is a resolution awarding contract number 12387, substation engineering services to Burns and McDonnell Engineering Company, Inc., in the funded not to exceed amount of $300,000. And item number 21 is a resolution approving the ratification of purchase order number 7030455 to Stuart C. Irby Company and 7029663 to Industrial Sales Company of Memphis, Inc., for gas pipe and electric pedestals in the total amount of $578,096.48. Mr. Chairman, that concludes our MLGW fiscal consent agenda items.
Thank you, Madam Comptroller. Don't see any, well, that item was moved by Councilwoman Robinson, seconded by Councilman Covett. I don't see any members in the queue to speak on this item. Madam Comptroller, will you please prepare this item for the vote? Coming up next.
Councilmembers, cast your votes. Canali, yes. Carlisle. Canali, yes. Carlisle, yes. Colvette, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Logan, yes. Robinson, yes. Vice Chairman Smiley, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Jones, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, will you please call item number 34?
Item number 34 is a resolution to transfer, allocate, and appropriate remaining CIP funds for various CIP projects. All council districts. This resolution is sponsored by Memphis Parks. There is a request for same night minutes.
Okay. Councilman Warren, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Committee met, recommend approval, and I so move.
Okay, motion is made by Councilman Warren, seconded by Councilman Ford. Seeing no members in the queue to speak on this item, Madam Comptroller, will you please prepare the screens for the vote?
Canali, yes. Carlisle, yes. Colvett, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Logan, yes. Robinson, yes. Vice Chairman Smiley, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Jones, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, will you please call item number 22?
That would take us to our appointments on the regular agenda. Memphis and Shelby County Airport Authority, reappointment, Jack Sammons. Memphis and Shelby County Board of Adjustment, we have two appointments, April Bostic and Kevin Bruce.
Councilwoman Easter Thomas?
Chair, the committee recommends approval, and I so move.
Okay, that item has been moved by Councilwoman Easter Thomas, seconded by Councilman Carlisle. Seeing no members in the queue to speak on this item, Madam Comptroller, will you please prepare this item for the vote?
Canali, yes. Carlisle, yes. Colvett, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Logan, yes. Robinson, yes. Vice Chairman Smiley, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Jones, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, will you please call item number 23?
My pleasure. Number 23 is a substitute joint ordinance of the City of Memphis and Shelby County, Tennessee, enacted pursuant to Community Redevelopment Act of 1998 and the Uniformity of Tax Increment Financing Act of 2012, providing for the establishment of Klondike Redevelopment Trust Fund, up for third and final reading. Ordinance number 5838 is sponsored by the Community Redevelopment Agency.
Thank you. Councilman Ford, you're recognized.
Recommend approval. I so move.
Okay. That item has been moved by Councilman Ford, seconded by Councilman Carlisle. Well, colleagues, we have speaker cards from 4 individuals, and we'll take them in this order. Kathy Gray, Rashawn Austin, Corey Davis, and Charles Aldrich, I think it is.
And there may be some questions with council.
I'm sorry?
Vice Chair, there's going to be some questions. Did you want to speak on that?
Okay. But yeah, I have you in the queue, Councilwoman Easter Thomas. Is Kathy Gray present? Okay. Ms. Gray, we ask that you provide your name and home address for the record, and you'll be afforded 2 minutes to speak.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My name is Kathy Gray. I live at 733 Speed Street. My residents in Klondike just have not been informed. I took upon myself, I have talked to the county council, and they were saying that they have informed our residents of the TIF. I took upon myself this weekend to actually get out on foot and talk to residents. I spoke with at least 40 residents, and I have them signed. I had them sign a proposal stating whether they had heard about the TIF and if they had been to a TIF meeting. Out of 40 people, we only had 2 people that said yes. Each one that said yes had an affiliation, either worked with them or was one of their renters. It's just not working. We don't want to be long-term renters. We don't want legacy renters. We want to be able to transfer our renters over into homeowners. When you're a homeowner, you tend to take care of your property better. So if we can teach them how to become homeowners, instead of taking 450 legacy renters over into 2050 and make them homeowners, we'll have a better neighborhood. In 2050, they say that we're gonna have an average income of $36,000. $36,000 in 2050 is gonna be the same thing as what they're saying we're gonna start out at in 2020, $15,000. We all know that. $36,000 won't value any more than $15,000. So by the time we get to 2050, we'll still be at the same thing that we are now. Our kids want to have generational wealth. At the point we're going, we have at least three to four nonprofits. Each nonprofit is ran by the same three people: Archie Willis, Steve Barlow, and Rashawn Austin. We've got to have some checks and balances. They own all of the GPs, they own the nonprofits. I mean, we're just, the residents aren't getting anything. They came in, they fixed up all of their property. They fixed up every one of their properties. The residents haven't received any. I know the legacy residents haven't received any kind of compensation in fixing up their properties. I'm just asking you all to give us time and let our residents come and decide what it is we want to do, instead of them telling us what it is they're going to do.
Okay. Thank you for your comments, Ms. Gray.
Thank you.
Next, we have a comment card from Ms. Rashawn Austin.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Council. Rashawn Austin, 377 Angeles, also president of the Works Incorporated and treasurer of Urban Renaissance Partners. We have, over the last 4 years, experienced something that's unprecedented in Memphis neighborhoods, an African-American neighborhood established in 1899. Since that date, we've invested $13 million in private dollars, which also includes $437,000 in home repairs to legacy homeowners prior to ever receiving any government funds or even coming before you all for a TIF, a tax increment financing district, which typically homeowner repairs happen after a TIF is granted, but we invested private dollars into those homes. I wanted to talk a little bit about home ownership. I changed my speech. We actually operate a small dollar mortgage fund, and 4 years ago, we placed 2 of the first homeowners in deed restricted properties to ensure long-term affordability. They had mortgages at $48,000 from the Opportunity Home Loan Fund that's operated by the Works. One of those women was a legacy homeowner who inherited her house from her parents, lost it to tax sale, rented it from an investor for 14 years. We purchased it from the investor, learned her story, put her back into her house at $48,000 on a street, Watkins, that now has appraisals at $203,000. We know that because we have another property, our first official CLT property that will sell on the 21st of this month to a single mother of 2 children, a 3-year-old and a 10-year-old. It appraises at $203,000, but because she's low income, and we're trying to make sure that homeowners have affordable housing, we're selling to her at $175 as the going rate, but we're reducing that to $165 so it is affordable so that she can afford her escrows, her taxes and insurance. We do long-term counseling with homeowners. We do not leave them once they're in their home with our mortgages. We placed our mortgages throughout Memphis neighborhoods, and we're particularly focused on Klondike. But I just wanted to come and speak on behalf of the partnership. We're here to answer any questions, but we've already invested $13 million, and this does not include the North Side development of $73 million. The city does have $2 million committed to Northside for the affordable housing units on the 3rd floor. There will be 42, but it is outside of the TIF district because it has received a pilot through EDGE.
Okay. Thank you. Next, we have a comment card from Corey Davis.
My name is Corey Davis, staff attorney at the Works. I live at 589 North 2nd Street, Memphis, Tennessee 38105. I've been leading the Klondike initiative for the Works and have been involved in much of the community engagement as well as many of the acquisitions that Ms. Gray referenced by the general partnerships. We've had several open houses that we've had over 100 people come in. Some we had a May Day event that had over 200 people. I personally have gone door to door talking to residents about what we have what's going on in the community as far as the community land trust, as well as the Klondike TIF. We've even met personally with Ms. Gray at the Friendship Baptist Church at her request to discuss any concern that she had, and we thought we had got to a point where we had basically, at least answered most of her questions. We talked about the general partnerships. We talked about any concern that she has. She has my cell phone number. I've knocked on her door to ask her, to tell her she's building she applied for our homeowner assistance program and was denied because she's building a house across the street. I've knocked on the door because we have a property that has a tree that she asked us to trim we've done everything we could to work with Ms. Gray and any other community resident. I want to talk a little bit in the brief time I have left about some of the promises that we made in our master plan. One is the no involuntary displacement. Ms. Rashawn talked about that, and she talked about the renter that we encountered on Watkins that bought a property that had been renting for 14 years, a property that she inherited, lost in tax sale. She rented it for 14 years, and we sold it back to her. So we are in favor of home ownership. Another property that we acquired it was in horrible shape. It was a 4-unit property on Bellevue. It was in horrible shape. One of the tenants told me about that he had a roof leak. Instead of the landlord fixing the roof leak, he basically just used sheetrock and put it over the leak, and that was his fix. When we bought the property, we basically moved everybody out, put them in extended stays. But people stay in conditions like that because the rent is cheap. They were paying $400 a month for a 1-bedroom. We bought the property, moved everybody out, put them in extended stays, fixed the property, put them back in there at the same $400 a month. We all know that we have a unique opportunity right now where there's
Mr.
more
Davis,
investment going on.
your time has expired. Can you wrap up your comments, please?
Will do. We all know that this is a unique opportunity right now that there's more investment going on in the Klondike community than ever before, probably ever will be again. This TIF will do nothing more but improve the efforts that we already have, and we just ask you to approve it. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. The next comment card is for Charles Aldridge. That's the last one.
Good evening. My name is Charles Aldridge, and I'm also a resident of 873 Speed Street. And I was here to gather some information as it relates to the TIF program. I've heard that there was meetings, so forth and so on, and interaction with the community, but seems as though that they passed my resident by. I'm here now trying to learn as to this program, TIF, how's it benefiting the community? So what's this all about? What have you, have I heard some numbers that was told here tonight that it's involvement in the community, but I'm kind of on the blind side of it. So I'm here tonight to try to gather some information as it relates to these programs that are in the North Memphis community. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Aldridge. We have Councilwoman Easter Thomas in the queue.
Thank you, Chair. And thank you to the North Memphis District 7 residents who came down to speak. We appreciate your voice. I had some questions about, I don't know what to call the group, for, I guess, Ms. Austin is the representative for today. If you would be able to answer a few questions. Yes, ma'am. And colleagues and for the public listening, I just want to be clear that I am in so much favorable support for anything in my district that is going to bring changes, especially something in Klondike where my grandmother has been a resident for the past 30 years, retired for the last 8. It's time for needed changes in a lot of places in North Memphis. But one thing I definitely do also support is adequate community engagement on a part that supplements the positive efforts that are coming forth. So we did receive some questions from Ms. Gray, a constituent, who also had questions at the county commission on yesterday, as well as the past former weeks. A lot of those questions are around community engagement and understanding the TIF, not the North Side project, but the TIF. And so my main questions, Ms. Austin, were, you sent back information about the public meetings and engagement for the partnership, but were those meetings advertised or focused for North Side, or were they focused for specifically the TIF?
Yes, only one of the meetings that you have from 2022 is for North Side. It was I have to look at the date. All of the rest of the meetings were for the tax increment financing district, and we went flyers door to door, and then a lot of people from the first meeting signed up for the text messages.
I saw the piece where they signed up for the text, which I think is a good engagement process. But when you gave us the presentation and said that you talked with 100 folks and that 100 people responded, they were in agreement for the Moving Klondike Forward efforts. Was specifically for the TIF?
Yes, the only meeting that I listed here was held at Perea for Northside Square was in early spring, but every other meeting was for the tax increment financing district.
Okay. So it seems as though, I know what you're saying, but things aren't still adding up. Based on what went on at the questions that were asked of the commission for more or final or another piece of community engagement that focused specifically on the TIF. Because I've met and talked with a lot of residents who know a lot about what's coming from Northside, the great things that are coming in, that is senior housing, whatever arts pieces that are included in there. But nobody can tell me about anything beyond you all own houses and you gonna fix them up. Concerning what the TIF is, or even a blanket or broad overview summary of that. So my request, which was the same request in commission yesterday, how can we get a targeted community engagement piece about the TIF?
We've done them for 4 years. I don't know what else that it's not they've been targeted for 4 years to the TIF. It's not related to Northside.
So you say that, but I'm still saying there's still opposition that it's not. And I know these on here are not particularly going for the TIF. They just say public engagement, which I assume was around the north side of Moving Klondike Forward. But
no, I only sent them because I listed them because they were for this body around the TIF. There's a lot of events I did not list because they weren't related to the TIF.
So question, are you able to do another community engagement push just specifically around the TIF? Since
Not
the
before
TIF
the
and
end of the
Northside are
year.
over?
No, ma'am. Because of the holidays. And part of the reason we're coming before you because we've invested $13 million and created the increment in Klondike, and we were trying to get the TIF district passed before the end of this year. And you all don't have enough meetings. And we've had TIF meetings for 4 years, and we listed the number of people who attended, including Ms. Gray, was at the last meeting.
But if, well, no, we don't have you on stand, Ms. Gray. We can't have you respond to that. Colleagues, as I said, I don't want to hold up anything that's positively impacting my community. However, I am still not satisfied with the amount of targeted community engagement around the TIF specifically. And I mentioned this when this was before us for 2 readings ago, and it was dismissed. But then the same issues came across the street at the commission, and I think they held it to see what we were going to do about it. I understand that the timeline still gives time for our December 20th meeting. And I would just like another targeted effort. If you have folks on that text message, are you able to show that those 100 people who signed in agreement, at least 100, are in understanding on how the TIF is going to impact them if we can't get answers about the certain details of the community land trust and the TIF? So I do propose that since December 20th is still time for that we still have time. We're coming back in 2 weeks. If it needs to be on same 9 minutes, it can be. But I would like to give more adequate time because as for me, someone who is a resident, a neighbor, it's only one person, but my grandma sits at home for the last 7 years and ain't nobody ever came to the door. Yeah, and I've told you that before. But I asked for just a hold on this to December 20th. It can be on same 9 minutes so they can get out for the rest of the year. But I would just like to see, however in manner that can happen, another concentrated effort, if possible.
When does the goal?
Ms. Austin,
That was a motion to the chair.
this is my meeting. Let me recognize council members, and then I come to you. Councilman Warren.
Yeah, I think it might be wise if we could figure out a way between now and 2 weeks just to have another meeting. And if you do that, you'll probably get, a successful vote here. I mean, everyone wants this to go forward. And we're hearing from people in the community that feel like maybe they were not heard. Please consider Councilwoman Easter Thomas's request. Thank you.
Councilman Carlisle.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I guess just because it's so important, because we're hitting the end of the year, we're saying a neighborhood engagement push, but I don't want to, and if I'll go through the chair, but I guess my question for the maker of the motion is what are your expectations so that there's a clear set of expectations? And let me just say, because I do understand what Ms. Austin is saying, meaning we are going to the holidays, like she can throw a neighborhood meeting, but the question is in a short timeline to get the word out if 5 people show up, and then she says that we only had 5 people show up, that may cause a delay, and at that point, the whole project's dead. So I guess if you would mind just elaborating on what you'd like to see.
Well, I asked 3 meetings ago for it to be held so it could have had a chance to happen then and not wait till the holidays. But since we are here and having that limited time, I'm not the maker of the community engagement for the works. So I can't say in what best way to get that out would be. If they've been engaged with the community for the last 4 years, they should be able to have an idea on what the best manner to get that out should be. So I won't put on any expectations beyond another reach of community engagement.
Thank you. Ms. Austin, would you mind responding?
I don't know how to. I don't know what exactly, what would, like you said, 5 people, if we were able to get them right before the holidays, is that enough? We have that list from all of the meetings.
Yeah, how many and this, I'll just go ahead and show how little I know. How many residents generally would you say make up the population of the Klondike Smoky Tiff area?
The total households in the Klondike Smoky City area is 600.
600. So you've engaged with roughly 20% of them. You got 122 on the text, right? So that's a locked up engagement.
Sometimes more.
I'm sorry?
It doesn't sound like the numbers presented in the presentation from last time, but we can go with 600.
Households.
Sorry, thank you. 600 households. And you've engaged, we have 122, sometimes more, sometimes less. So that's roughly at least 20%. Is that right? Did I do that right? I don't know. Yeah, 20, yeah, thank you.
Yes.
All right, thank you. It's just getting late in the day. It's raining all week. Look, I guess for me, and I'll move on because I see Councilwoman Johnson in the queue too. I want to ensure that the district rep and that the community feels like the engagement's occurring. But this is also needs to be something that I feel like we as a council don't need to fumble the football on. So I guess Councilwoman Easter Thomas has made her point, and I'm happy to support her and trying. And if there's anything that we can do to assist in helping get the word out through our platforms, we can do that. But to my colleagues, we really need to ensure that come the 20th that we've done everything we can to try and move the TIF forward. It's incredibly important for the work that's going on in and around that neighborhood, and it's a win for everybody. Thank you. I'll yield the floor.
Thank you. We have Councilwoman Johnson in the queue, as well as Council Vice Chair Smiley. Councilman Warren, are you still in the queue? Okay. Councilwoman Johnson.
Thank you, Chair. My question is, for clarity, exactly what is the issue? Was it that they were not contacted? I couldn't make it out from the property owners that spoke that they were not allowed to participate. I'm not sure what the issues are. Maybe that would help. Because if you're talking about 600 households, that's just 600 mail-outs. That shouldn't be a problem. $300. Including stamps. You should be able to, you probably got a mailing list already of 600. If it needs notification. I'm just not clear on what the problem is, if they're not being touched or they don't understand. I just don't know what the issue is. I don't know who can help me with that. That's my question, Chair.
Ms. Johnson, can you repeat that question? I'm sorry, I was.
I'm not clear on what the issue is.
Okay.
Is it that people were not contacted in that range of 600 households, or people did not understand once they received the documentation? I'm not clear because I heard that maybe one person didn't understand, but then there were several meetings with one person. So I'm not, I'm just, if it's a contact, I don't see why send out the 600 notices and keep on going. And then everybody's contacted.
That's what I'm thinking.
And you can get that done by that time. And is it possible to vote on it? And then if it doesn't get done, we'll pull it in 2 weeks?
It seems like more work to pull it than to hold it.
Whatever's easier, that's all I'm saying. Okay. This is a chair call, not mine. I'm sorry, ma'am.
Let me recognize Vice Chairman Smiley.
Thank you, Chairman Jones. Rashawn, quick question for you. So, Councilwoman Issa Thomas requested to hold for 2 weeks. Would the hold delay us from going forward significantly? Would it impact the project? You will be looking at the lawyers.
Well, the CRA's lawyer, if it goes beyond this year, yes.
Okay. So then,
well, follow up to that. How so?
Because we can't. Well, she'll have to.
Okay.
We know who she is, but.
Moniz Hagler, counsel for CRA. So the purpose of finishing this year is so that the base year of the TIF begins on the 2022 year.
Gotcha. Okay.
And let me just add one other thing with regard to the efforts or the benefits of the TIF. Basically, this development team has already set in motion the home affordability, home repair, and what have you. Basically, the TIF is going to handle the infrastructure for the area, and it won't actually come into play until several years down the road. Will there even be dollars that can go into the infrastructure? In the meantime, the developer, the private developer in this instance, intends to move forward with all of the procedures and attempts to stabilize the community prior to the actual TIF becoming in effect.
All right, thank you. So this is what I'm going to suggest, and I hope this body obliges me. One, we're going to honor the request of Councilwoman Issa Thomas, but what also, we deal in the business of people, and our job is to get the word out. So what we're going to do, my staff is going to do it, and apparently Councilman Carlisle is on the board with me. We're going to have a community meeting, and we're going to get the message out. We're going to use our platforms. We're going to use our resources, the best staff in the world. Sorry, since I'm giving y'all extra work, to get the word out. And what we ask from you all is be present. Be present, bring all the information that Councilwoman Issa Thomas wants to get out, and we're going to see who comes. If one person comes to get the information they need, then we've done what we're supposed to do. We put the information out, we let people know, and y'all come prepared, and we're gonna do it like that. And we're gonna come up with a date certain the
next week.
Immediately.
But keep in mind, we got one next week, next Wednesday.
We're gonna come up with a date certain immediately. We're gonna get it out. We'll be in contact with you all. Thank you all so much.
Is it an evening? Is it an evening?
When can y'all make it? We're gonna be.
I can't. I'm in a conference in California next week, but we have a team of people. So.
Attorney Hagler said she ready. She ready.
Well, it wouldn't be. She's not the developer.
Okay, they ready. You ready, right? Okay, cool. They're ready. So we're gonna have a meeting real soon, as quick as possible, and we're gonna get it out the best way we know how. Thank you all. And Councilwoman Issa Thomas.
Are you inviting me to be on that meeting as well, Councilman Smiley?
Absolutely, because I don't want to get in trouble.
She doesn't want to.
I don't want to get in trouble. That's why I'm trying to get some information out.
I don't want to get in trouble. Absolutely.
Do y'all need something from us though?
We will. Our staff will be in contact.
Chair, can I?
Yes.
Okay. The questions that we received in an email, we'll send that to your team so that all of those questions can be answered for the meeting.
Councilman Carlisle?
Thank you, Chair. And to that point, I think mainly, and I'll reach out to make sure that I've got as much of a base of knowledge, but I think the most important thing, again, is make sure that one last time for Christmas' sake, that we've answered any and all possible questions that may be out there and touch as many people in order to try and move this thing forward and make sure that this body and all the stakeholders feel like they've had an opportunity just for one more go. So from your staff, mainly just that someone's available that has a technical know-how either from the CRA or the works that can just say, just like here, we get oddball questions. And so if I don't know, I've got 85 people that I can ask that can help me find that answer. So we just want to make sure we get one last thing in there.
Councilwoman Easton Thomas?
Thank you. Thank you, Smiley and Carlisle, for that addition. But I don't want to put this all as an onus on the council. I still would like another community touch directly from the development group so that it's not all on us.
Well, but I guess, and I would confer with Councilman Smiley on this. It could sort of serve a dual purpose because in the communications that I've received, there seemed to have been some confusion whether or not there was, because I think uncharacteristic with this, we sort of have two things going on at the same time.
Yeah.
And if somebody was attending a meeting for the TIF, thinking that they were getting information on North Side, and it's vice versa, that's something that's not clear to me of what took place. And so what would be the purpose of our meeting would be an opportunity to hash out all of that. We wouldn't be dependent upon third person accounts of what's going on. And we'll have, hopefully we'll have representatives there that can be able to answer both questions. It'll be a venue where both of those issues can be addressed and information can be disseminated about each one of those things, because I don't think that, are they in concert with one another? I know if one wasn't taking place, the other one could take place independently of itself. And so that's
Right.
that's my concern.
You can't have
we
a
have two
positive.
things taking place at the same time in close proximity to one another, and I don't think that the information is being clearly disseminated about each one. That's what has been articulated.
And I'd even add to make sure that that the press is there. Like, we don't use TIFs like other municipalities do. We use pilots as our go-to. And like, there are maybe a half a dozen TIFs, only 3 are activated, if even. My point is that it's really not common vernacular out there like the term pilot is. And so, because we just haven't done them, like we had, well, you got Binghamton and Uptown, and then there's the one that's not activated out in Poplar and 240. And so my general point is that, again, it's something that we as like a city and a municipality aren't super familiar with. And so we're starting like with Soulsville and into Klondike, Smoky City, it's starting to be something that we're using, and people, the term eventually will be, and we as a council, hopefully, in the communities will be more comfortable with as they're going. Raleigh Uptown would be the other one, right? So just to continue to educate and use the platform. So.
Okay, any council members want to speak on this item? Any closing remarks you want to provide, Ms. Austin?
No.
Okay, was that a motion? Are you formally making that motion? Councilmember Easton Thomas, was there a second to your motion to hold? Okay, second. Is there any objection to the hold? Seeing none, we will do those things. We'll have the community meeting as well as take up this item at our next meeting on December 7th. Thank you.
December, I didn't hear today.
Well, I'm sorry, December 20th, I'm sorry. Our next meeting, December 20th. Madam Comptroller, will you please call item 24?
Item number 24 is an ordinance to establish the city council meeting dates for 2023 for third and final reading. Ordinance number 5839 is sponsored by Chairman Jones.
Colleagues, this is our meeting schedule for the next year. And so there are some meetings next year that are not going to be on the first and the third Tuesdays of the month, with the first one being next month. But what this resolution is just setting our meeting agenda for the calendar year of 2023. And I so move. has been moved, I'm sorry. Yes, I've moved it, seconded by Councilman Carlisle. Councilman Carlisle.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Are you moving your substitute ordinance?
Thank you. Yes, substitute.
All right. I missed one, and I'll let Councilman Jones weigh in as the budget chair. So bear with me because I know you don't all have a calendar in front of you. I have a conflict on June 6th. I would like to move that meeting to May 30th. It would be odd because it only gives us one meeting in June. But because it's budget season, something tells me that we'll probably find a special meeting in there somewhere. But this is what I want to ask you. When do we typically start rolling the ordinances, blank ordinances with the millage rate? Is that last meeting in April?
Yes.
Okay. So they're set usually for the first meeting in June, if all goes well, for the final vote?
Right.
I love that. I've got I know I'm not going to be there.
Well,
help me out here. Because there's no way we're going to get all the way through everything by May 30th anyway.
No.
That's okay. If I'm not there, yeah, it's okay. Let's just keep it.
Let's take it up doing budget. And, we can adjust this ordinance.
I'm with you.
At some point, once we get there, we can.
Yeah, let's keep it everything as is. So I'm good. So I'm going to move this as the substitute ordinance, though.
Yes, the substitute. Yes. So so he's moving it as the substitute ordinance, and I will second the substitute ordinance. Seeing no council members in the queue, Madam Comptroller, will you please prepare this item for the vote?
Canali, yes.
What?
Carlisle, yes. Colvett, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Logan, yes. Robinson, yes. Vice Chairman Smiley, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Warren abstained. Chairman Jones, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, will you please call item 25?
Item number 25 is a resolution appropriating construction funds in the amount of $580,000 for project number EN 01115, traffic signal improvements to the intersection of Poplar Avenue at Avalon Street, District 5, Super District 8. This resolution is sponsored by the Engineering Division.
Thank you, Madam Comptroller. Vice Chair Smiley, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The committee recommend approval, and I so move.
Okay, that item has been moved by Vice Chair Smiley, seconded by Councilman Warren. Seeing no members in the queue to speak on this item, Madam Comptroller, will you please prepare the item for the vote?
Canali, yes. Carlisle, yes. Colvett, yes. Johnson, yes. Robinson, yes. Councilwoman Logan, yes. Councilmember Ford, yes. Vice Chairman Smiley, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Jones, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, will you please call item number 26?
Item number 26 is a resolution approving the acquisition of property in the amount of $170,000 located at 0 Stonebrook Circle, parcel ID number 06022200115C, District 3, Super District 8. This resolution is sponsored by General Services and the Engineering Division.
Vice Chair Smiley.
Thank you, the illustrious Chair Martavius Jones. We appreciate your service to the city. The committee recommend approval, and I so move.
Did we? I don't.
Oh, nope. It says, yeah, we did. Adopt the resolution. We did.
Okay, that item has been moved by Councilman Smiley, seconded by Councilwoman Robinson. I don't see any members in the queue, but we had a presentation and discussion. So seeing no members in the queue on this item, Madam Comptroller, will you please prepare the item for the vote? Okay.
Canali, yes. Colvett, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Logan, yes. Robinson, yes. Councilmember Colvett, yes. Vice Chairman Smiley, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Jones, yes. There's another voting member. Councilmember Carlisle, please show him his voting yes.
Madam Comptroller, will you please call item 27?
Item number 27 is a resolution to approve the MLGW FY23 electric, gas, and water operations and capital budget. This resolution is sponsored by MLGW Division.
Councilwoman Robinson.
Hear me? Is it
Yes.
on? Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. Our committee met, recommends approval, and I so move.
Okay, that item has been moved by Councilwoman Robinson, seconded by Councilman Covett. Seeing no members in the queue to speak on this item, Madam Comptroller, will you please prepare the screens for the vote?
Vote, vote. Y'all vote? Y'all vote.
Canali, yes. Carlisle, yes. Colvett, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Logan, yes. Robinson, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Jones, yes. And also, anyone else?
Okay. That item passes.
Mr. Chair.
Don't worry about it.
Carlisle.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just want to say welcome to Chief McGowan at his first meeting in his new role.
What's his new role?
What?
Okay.
What?
Okay.
But I look forward to hearing the chief's comments in the very near future once he gets his feet under him about the budget and his perception on that going forward. I tried president. He told me technically he still could be chief executive officer, so chief. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Madam Comptroller, will you please call item 28?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item number 28 is a joint resolution in support of the More for Memphis initiative. All council districts, this resolution is sponsored by council members Easter Thomas, Canali, Ford, Johnson, Jones, Logan, Robinson, Smiley, and Warren.
Councilwoman Easter Thomas.
Is this on? Okay. Chair, the committee may recommends approval, and I so move.
Okay, motion has been made and seconded on that, but we do have one speaker card. Mr. Joe Kent, welcome, sir. Good afternoon.
Yes, Joe Kent, 5111 Flamingo. 8 years ago, I was covering Indianapolis on career education solutions, 8 years ago. Indy had an incredible career and VOCAD programs in K-12 and Ivy Tech. Community college, for example, Indy had restaurants in high schools with students running them. With a massive FedEx hub in Indy, Blackjack had to know about this incredible CTE programming in Indy. It could not be because of a lack of knowledge that Memphis had a botched workforce development system through groups that don't advocate like Seeding Success. The botching had to be intentional by Blackjack and Puke. They wrote me off and the community off as a whole. Here are some facts. Edge Board's Al Bright, who sits on the Seeding Success Board, and one that I confront all the time will suck it up and tell you that had I got the business, SCS would never have seen the pits of a 12% CTE concentrator rate. I don't even think Seeding Success knows what CTE is. Just to give you an idea, to be a 12% CTE concentrator rate, you've got to work really hard to be that bad. And that's exactly what FedEx, Memphis Tomorrow, Seeding Success, and all these public-privates did. 3 years ago, a Seeding Success facilitated chamber upskill 901 session told the audience that the effort involved yet another year of workforce planning. Ready to start implementing something, a med device representative spoke up in outrage. Now, 3 years later, Seeding Success is before you again talking about more planning. Seeding Success has been around since 2015. It's not publicly advocated for course correction or a specific plan for connected workforce development. While watching a Canadian vendor fail botching the system, this is a failure in public advocacy. So the reason you got a failed system is because of FedEx, Memphis Tomorrow. Same people have been botching the workforce development system for 10 years now. You have no plan. You have no plan, no research base or nothing, which is what I do. That's what got me into this advocacy. And Albright will tell you, y'all would have never seen a 12% CTE rate. It's impossible. You have to work really hard to be that bad. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kent. Seeing no members in the queue, Madam Comptroller, will you please prepare this item for the vote?
Canale, yes. Carlisle, yes. Colvett, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Johnson, yes. Logan, yes. Robinson, yes. Vice Chairman Smiley, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Jones, yes.
That item passes.
I failed to call Mr. Ford's name. Please show him as voting yes.
Okay, that will be reflected in the records. That brings us to our same night minutes. Vice Chair Smiley, would you please read the same night minutes into the record?
Absolutely, Mr. Chair. Same night minutes are items 2, 3, 4, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and 36. Yes, that's correct. And I so move. Was trying to make sure I was correct.
Let's see. Okay, our same night minutes have been moved and seconded. Let's see. Madam Comptroller, did we have a 36?
Yes,
Yep, come on.
you did.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. So, council members, please cast your votes for our same night minutes.
Do you want to vote? Same night minutes, Councilwoman Johnson? Thank you. Canale, yes. Carlisle, yes. Colvett, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Logan, yes. Robinson, yes. Vice Chairman Smiley, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Jones, yes.
That item passes. We have one comment card. Mr. Joe Kent, you have 2 minutes, sir.
Kent, 5111 Flamingo, Merry Christmas from the taxpayer, or Happy Holidays from the Taxpayer Justice Institute. A report is due from Chief Ryan on all things riverfront to taxpayers considering the $100 million public spend. I saw Chief Ryan's approval that appeared to involve her cheering sorority sisters. The Institute doesn't care about your sorority, fraternity, or crew, or if you're a strong black woman, white woman, full-grown black man, or mean old white man like Doug McGowan. A report is due from the riverfront. is due on the riverfront, $100 million, guys. It's almost Christmas and we still have no published budget due to your negligence in delegating your responsibility to the administration. The city cannot produce any curriculum documents related to the Memphis Academy of Civic Engagement. The $1.8 million ask from the state is evidence to Tasser that something is really amiss here after the elitists have run the city in the ground. On the heels of advocacy by the Institute, excuse me, can I have, okay, thank you. On the heels of advocacy by the Institute, I find recent transactions by Memphis museums interesting. And we have, and one other thing about the TIFs that we have in operation here, there was one missing. The famous Highland Road TIF, 7.25%, 20 years, taxpayers are paying for a $12 million garage. Just wanted to remind everybody about that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kent. That brings us to the end of our meeting agenda. At this time, I entertain a motion to adjourn. Okay, this meeting is